Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of my show. I didn't think it would be a show. I thought it'd just be a couple of little interviews, and suddenly it just blew up, and I have everyone, including the amazingly talented Adam Crossley.
Hello.
So you are probably you're most recently known for being in RAGS. How did
I
that come
was.
about?
So it was back in, I think it was November. My agent sent me for an audition, and I turned up, did a bit of dancing, bit of singing, bit of acting, and got the job.
Amazing.
Yeah, I only had the one audition, so yeah, I was quite lucky. I was called in and then auditioned and then got the job.
So how long did it take you to find out after audition that you got the job?
Oh gosh, I think it was about 2 weeks. I think it was.
That's not that bad then.
Yeah, it
Because you
wasn't
could
too
have been a lot
bad.
longer.
And especially as I only did the one audition, I didn't realise that it was the final, and I was expecting, say, another round, or that I hadn't got the job. And then I got a call. I was actually teaching at the time and got a call, and I was like, oh, hold on a second. Took the call and then found out I got the job. Yeah.
Amazing. So how long were you in RAGS for?
So we started rehearsals beginning of December, and we rehearsed through till January. We had, I think it was 18 days of rehearsal, and then we opened in January and closed in February. So it was just a month run, and it was at the Park Theatre.
So if you ever got a chance to do that show again, would it be an easy decision to be like, okay, I'll go back to that?
Yes, absolutely. So we only did 5 weeks of the run, and I loved everything about it. The cast, the whole company were an absolute dream to work with. It was one of the jobs that I didn't want to end. When we got to it, I was like, no, I don't want it to end. I want it to carry on. And just everything about it was something completely different style to anything that I would usually do. And yeah, I would jump to do it again. Absolutely jump to do it again.
Amazing. So if any producers of RAGS are watching, start it up again.
Yeah,
Revival. Adam
Katie
Crossley getting
Lipson.
back.
Yeah.
So before RAGS, I'm going to talk about, you did Thoroughly Modern Millie.
I did, yeah.
Was that a hard audition process, or was that kind of...
So actually, with Thoroughly Modern Millie, I was quite lucky, because at the time I was doing the summer holiday UK tour. So that was during 2018, and we had a 2-week dark period on tour where we didn't have any venues and we weren't performing, and it was working with Spirit, the company Spirit Productions, and both shows were produced by them and the same creative team, Racky Plews, and they asked, would you like to come to Canada to perform Thoroughly Modern Millie in your 2 weeks that you have off from summer holiday? So it was working with the same people. So actually, in this case, I didn't have to audition, and I was very lucky because it was actually a production that they'd done before that was on tour. I think they did 2 legs of the tour, and I saw it, and so having them ask me to be in it was actually really nice because I did want to be in it in the first place, but I didn't get an audition. It wasn't available, and yeah, so to be able to do it for 2 weeks in Canada was brilliant, right over my birthday as well. So
that was an easy decision. As soon as I asked you, you were like, yep, straight away.
It's not often that you get short contracts in the sense that you can fit it between. Knowing that when I'd finished Thoroughly Modern Millie, I had to come back to summer holiday to finish off that tour. So to fit it in right in the middle, 2 weeks holiday from the first tour was great, and it worked really well for us.
Amazing. So summer holiday.
Yeah,
that was the UK tour of that, right?
it was.
And how'd that part come about? Was that a part that you really wanted and you went to audition, and was it a hard process?
So there was three rounds for that one, I think. And so I had worked with Racky Plews beforehand. So she'd called me in via my agent. So I was brought in, I did, I think it was a dance and singing round first. Then I was brought back. Oh, it might have been just dance first. And it was hard. I remember it being really hard. And like there was tricking in it. There was turns, leaps, all sorts. And so it's 3 rounds. So it's dance first, brought back, and I had a monologue. I had a huge monologue to learn. And it was meant to be quite speedy. It was a character called Cyril. And I learned it and I had to sing as well. And it was great. I enjoyed that. And then they brought us back all together and we did like a final round of like dance and singing as well. So that's how I got that one. So that was, yeah. But I think that was about 5 weeks I had to wait before I heard about getting it, something like that.
So I haven't auditioned for anything before. What's the process of, do they call you anyway if you haven't or have got it? Or is it just a waiting game of waiting for a phone call?
So usually with your first round, they sometimes do like a cut in an audition. So you'll know if you don't get it on the day. But if you make it to the end of the day, you're either waiting for a yes or you're waiting for a no or like a recall as well. So usually you'll have several rounds. If you're in a final and you're waiting to hear, you don't always hear that you've not got the show. So obviously if you get the show, you get an offer via your agent and you accept, and if you want, negotiate. But if you don't always get a no, a lot of producers and casting directors now are trying to respond to all auditions to let them know, because waiting for either answer can be painful. It a lot rests on it, like with what you're going to do with your whole year, with work, just everything. If just to get closure on it really is a nice thing. You say, no, you haven't got the job, sadly, but then you can go, okay, I haven't got the job. What can I move on to? You can move on from it. But a lot more producers are striving to give no's as well.
So does it get any easier getting no's if you, in your opinion?
You have to have a tough skin in the industry for sure. And a no is always going to be difficult, but there are those shows that may be particularly special to you, that have a certain meaning to you. Or there's other shows that you just really think you're right for, and then you don't get, and it is painful. But I think it's more, that's okay. I think it's more about how you move on and accept it. Because sometimes it's not necessarily to do with any of your talent whatsoever. It could be a jigsaw of this person accepted and you were going to be their cover, or this person didn't accept, so then they've got to jumble it round. It usually like trickles down depending on the leads through to the ensemble in some cases. But no, it can be hard to get no's.
So before you did Summer Holiday, are we talking about Summer Holiday? Yeah,
we talked about Thoroughly Modern Millie and Summer Holiday, kind of in the same.
Okay, cool. Just I lost my train of thought then. But before you did Summer Holiday, you got a yes for Greece.
Yeah, so I was doing Greece for Royal Caribbean on their cruise ships. I was on Harmony of the Seas, and I was their first cast on that ship. So it was a brand new ship. It, at the time, was the biggest in the world, and I auditioned for that, and got the job. So we did 11 weeks of rehearsals in Miami, and then was on board from May till December the first time. So that was my first contract I did with them. And then the following year in May, I was asked to go back to join cast 2, as sadly as they needed a replacement. So I went back into a different track in the ensemble. So I did Greece twice. Yeah.
So was that your first time doing a cruise, or?
It was, yeah, first time.
So how was that feeling for you when they said you're going to do a cruise show?
Um, so I'm not the biggest fan of open spaces of water. So when my agent told me that I was going to go for an audition, I was kind of like, "Ooh, I'm not the biggest fan." Um, and she was like, "Adam, you just need to go for the audition. You might not even get it. You need to just go and audition as you normally would. And then if you get the offer, we can consider it." And basically at the end of it, she was like, "You need to suck it up and you need, it's a great job. You need to go and do it." And to be fair, it was actually all right. Like the ship was so big, for one, you wouldn't really feel the waves much. I mean, apart from when it was like really rocky, because it was so big, you didn't feel it. It was all right. I kind of learned to enjoy it. There's a pull to the ocean. When you look out at the ocean, there's a pull in. But I mean, it's such different aspects of life. Like you have your food is prepared for you. You work where you live. Like it would take you 2 minutes to walk from your bedroom to work to the theatre and get ready. So yeah, it's completely different. Everything you need is on that ship to live.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's so big. It was like a floating city. Like there was a park, there was pools, there's all these restaurants that you could go to as well. Like it was just yeah, and it was one of the best jobs I've done.
So now that you've done a cruise show, if they asked you again, you'd be like, would that be easy to go back? Easier than the first time when you,
So well, I did go back. I did go
I
back.
mean,
That's yeah.
if they asked you again.
I think at the minute it would have to be for a show that I really wanted to do. It would have to be for a musical. Obviously I've done Grease already, like and twice. Whether I would go back and do it again, I would maybe want to be to play a part because I've done the ensemble. But I loved the show that went alongside Grease. It was called Columbus, which was a brand new musical, and we got to create that show. Like it was brand new conception. There was some new music in it as well, and it also involved pop songs, so stuff like Bruno Mars, Rihanna, that told this story of Christopher Columbus's long lost, distant, fictional relative called Marvin. It's absolutely bonkers, and I loved doing it. So I would go back for that one because I had so much fun on that show. I mean, it was 50 minutes long, but it was a killer. Like you would not stop. The amount of costume changes. I was a flying shark. That says it all. Wanting to eat cheeseburgers because I was hungry. You know, it was crazy. And then yeah, I loved that show. Oh, I know a couple of cruise lines do musicals. I mean, it's not saying I wouldn't go back, but I do like being based in London, really, at the minute. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not there now, but if I could be, I would be.
So the very first show you did was Legally Blonde.
Yeah, was.
How was that being such a, that's an iconic show.
So the show itself is great. I saw it at the Savoy when it was there. With I saw it with Carly Stenson actually as Elle, and I loved the show. I loved the show. It was one of those soundtracks that I could listen to over and over again. And so it was actually my first job out of college, a year and a half later after graduating, and it was upstairs at the Gatehouse in Highgate. I don't know if you've been. They do some great productions there. And yeah, so I auditioned. They had me initially down to audition for Kyle. I'm not a Kyle. I'm not a Kyle. So so when I did the audition, I read, and I remember I was reading with Jodie Jacobs as Paulette, and I mean I'd seen her in Rock of Ages, and I was like, she's incredible. I know who she is, and I got really nervous. My singing wasn't great, and I was like, nah, I've ruined it. I've ruined it. So nervous, and they called me back, and then I got called back to do a dance call and some more singing. But this time I went in for Nikos Agitakos, and I actually got the job, and then ended up playing 7 different characters because it's on the Fringe, the smaller cast. there's not as much space on the stage. I ended up multi-rolling, and Nikos being one of them. But I think that's what I love about Fringe as well, because you get to do something completely different from what is known of the big productions, and especially because you're nice and close. We did it in Traverse, so like a train track platform either side, and you had audience right in front of you. I mean, that was quite scary when we did the top of Act 2, which was Whipped into Shape. I don't know. Do you know the show?
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So they're in prison, and they're doing a fitness workout, and they all do skipping. So we included skipping in the production as well. But you would just see when you'd come out every night and you'd start to skip, the whole front row would just go, oh my God, and just lean backwards because they were like, I'm going to die. But no, it was great. It was a fun first show. I was dance captain on that as well. And I had the best time. And then have consequentially done another show at the Gatehouse. I did Nice Work If You Can Get It. I've missed that off my list. Nice Work If You Can Get It. I did that then when did I do that? 2018, 19. I did that, over Christmas. And then I was back this year and assisted on 42nd Street that they did at the Gatehouse. I was assistant director to John Plews.
Amazing. So I think the one question I had to ask you is, did anyone ever get hit with a skipping ropes in the front row?
No, they did not. As far as I was aware, no one did not. Thank goodness. Sure. Thank you. It was all choreographed so that the ropes would go this way as opposed to like into the audience. It was very well spaced.
Good. I like the audience didn't know that though. They were all sitting there like, oh no, but you guys were like,
you'd see the front row. You'd just be like, oh, just feel them move back.
Oh, so you've been on the telly on ITV.
Yeah, only a little bit, but yes, I did. And I was one of the background dancers for ITV's Sanditon, their period drama that they did on a Sunday night. And I was in the final episode dancing at one of their balls.
How did it feel when you got told that you got that job? You're going to be on the TV.
Well, again, that was quite a funny one in the sense that, like, I just got a text from my agent being like, Adam, can you send me a picture of your hair? Like, just front, side, back, your hair. And I was like, okay. So I just went into my shed, took some pictures, just on my phone, took some pictures and just WhatsApped it to my agent. And basically, I just got the job via that. I think they just needed one more person, but they just had to check that their hairstyle wasn't too modern. With it being a period piece, they didn't want like a fresh fade or like skinhead. And it got confirmed by production, said, yeah, that's fine. And then was brought on board. And that just got it.
So when you got that text, was it literally just send me a picture of your hair? Like, you had no other...
No, just send me a picture. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to wash it. I styled it. So I don't even know what she wants. There's nothing I can do with my hair, but this is what you're gonna get. So, yeah.
I like the belief that you had. You were just like, all right, I'll do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My agent's very good, and it was for a friend of hers, Sammy Murray. I mean, I had the best time. We rehearsed and filmed in Bristol, but we had 2 days of rehearsal and 3 days of filming. And we had to drive down from London, like early hours. I remember driving down. It was quite a way. But we drive down on the Monday and then drive back, and then drive down the Wednesday morning and drive back. And then for the following week was filming. We just got an Airbnb. There was about, how many was there? 1, 2, 3, about 5 of us. Yeah, 5 of us in an Airbnb that made it like 20 quid a night. And it was great. Yeah. Just got to chill in Bristol, and the filming days were very long. We were in this ballroom, and all the lighting was candles, and it was like this reflective wall. It was, and you would wear about 6 layers, like as you would in period. Like you'd have your stocks and all your different waistcoats and your jackets. It was very hot, and I think they realised that they could start putting the candles out that were behind the camera. that weren't in shot. So it works completely differently. The amount of times that we had to do it wasn't difficult choreography. It was lovely choreography, but it wasn't like spinning, and it was appropriate to what we were doing. But the amount of times that we had to do it, because they need it from this angle, they need it from that angle, they need to hear who's talking. So it's a different element of dance when it goes from theatre to TV. And it was great to like look into that world as well.
Amazing. So sadly, we're coming near to the end of the interview.
Oh, okay.
Which means I get to ask you some random questions. Which
okay.
The first one, like everyone, you get a warning, and I've warned you for this. And the question
is that now?
If you could be in any musical for one night only, with no gender roles, no age roles, no stereotypes or anything, full costume, full lights, full sound, what character, what musical, and why?
Ooh, I still haven't thought. I've been thinking about everything else. I mean, I'd love to be Elle Woods. That's a pretty fun role, right? Do I get the blonde wig?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's full costume, full
costume. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. That was a great show to start with. I loved it when I saw it. And that's off the top of my head. Yeah, I love the songs. So
if any Legally Blonde producers are watching, Adam Crossley for Elle Woods.
Could you imagine? No one would come and see it.
Oh, I think that everyone will go and see that. Just that's when people go on. If you have some people in the audience going, is that guy that's dancing in the background of that show? And now
is now playing out.
Dedicated fans. Time for your next exciting question. Now, I haven't warned you about these, so it could be anything. So the first one is, if you had to choose between, you can either only listen to one original cast recording for the rest of your life, or listen to any cast recording but only once in your whole lifetime. What would you pick?
I can listen to any of them, as many.
Only once. You can never go back to it.
Yeah, I'd do that.
How does that feel though, not having been able to go back to a soundtrack?
I don't know, it'd be sad, but I think there's so much great new work that is coming out. Do you know what I mean? I love a revival, that's great, there's some classics, but there is so much good new work out there. So I wouldn't mind, because I'd film myself with another one. Because you imagine if you listen to something and you didn't like it, and then you have to listen to it over and over again. Let's go with one, let's enjoy it whilst listening to it. And sometimes I do that because there's so many like out of context that I don't know, and you're like, oh, this sounds really good, I'd be interested in that. So I'd like to learn about new things. That would be my answer.
Amazing. Next question. This isn't you, by the way. You can't pick yourself.
Oh, okay.
They are making Adam Crossley the musical. Who plays you?
Oh. Is it like through my entire life, or is it now? So
when I asked Jen Caldwell, I would say you have to pick someone to play you now, and if you want to, if you can think of someone that could play you in the future or you in the past, you can pick them as well. But you have to pick you now for them.
Okay, so I get told that I'm quite similar to Grant Murphy, who I've worked with. So I suppose, and he's older than I am now. Not obviously, we don't look the same age. He's going to hate that. He can play me in the future, sure. And I don't know. I can't play myself.
No.
Can it be someone like young and handsome?
Well, you're the one making the choice.
Who would that be? I don't know. Oh, Jeremy Jordan. There we go. Sold.
Good choice.
I mean, we're not very similar, but yeah, I've met him. He's wonderful, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't think we're the same. Yeah, he's got a beautiful voice. He can play me. Yeah,
he's got an amazing voice. Oh, Jeremy Jordan, if you're watching the show, come on. Oh, the next. That's an amazing choice. So Grant Murphy, Jeremy Jordan. Grant Murphy watching the show. Come on, everyone come on the show. Hope you don't think that I'm just getting anyone on the show. I'm very happy to have
just
you.
plug, tag them all. You got to mention, yeah.
Oh, Jen Coldwell said, oh, I can't remember who she said. We were talking about like whether Kristen Bell will play her, and I was like, Kristen Bell, come on the show. Just like,
Yeah, come on, why not? Got a lot of time.
Yeah, you're in lockdown. Just come on, just use some time to hang out with a random person. Next question is, if you had to pick between never singing again or being a badly singing sheep, what would you pick?
So never singing or singing, but singing like a bad sheep.
No, being a sheep that sings really badly.
Being a sheep. I'll never sing again.
You wouldn't want to be a sheep?
No. I can still dance and I can still express. I don't know how well sheep are expressing in the form of dance, and I can talk, right?
Yeah,
I can't, so then I can't as a sheep. So I will go with never singing again.
But you could sing as a sheep, just not very well.
Just not very well. Just better not to sing.
Good choice. Oh. And just trying to remember, I have another question. What is it? Oh, if you had to choose between never listening to music again or never seeing colours again.
Ooh. Ooh. I would never see colours again.
Do you think that's an easy choice for you that music is so important in your life that?
I think, yeah, music for me creates a lot of what I do in terms of work. Like it makes you feel like colours you can interpret. Hang on. Also, could I see colour first and then not see it, or I've never seen colour?
No, you've seen it before, so you know what everything colours are, but then you never see it again.
Yeah, no, I'd still go with never seeing colours again. I can imagine. If you tell me it's red, then yeah.
No, but even then, you can imagine that it's red, but you would know that colours are an amazing thing, but you cannot remember the colours.
Okay. I'd still go with me. I'd still go with never seeing colour.
Okay, good choice. Next question. If you could be any Disney princess, which one would you be and why?
Oh gosh. I've got a list of Disney movies on my wall. Hang on. Which princess would I be? I mean, Aurora gets to sleep for a while. That's always fun. I did a quiz the other night as well that had to name all 12 Disney princesses. Because technically, Elsa and Anna are not on there.
I know, it's really sad. They're my favourite.
But they're their own.
Yeah, well, I've kind of let people have them anyway if they've said
okay.
Elsa. So if you want to pick Elsa or Anna, then go ahead.
It's really hard. I take this really seriously. I hope you understand this. Yeah, I'd go with Anna. Let's do Anna. She has some belter of some songs, and she's her own person.
What would be the first Anna song that you'd sing as Anna?
For the first time in forever.
Good choice.
Like literally singing for the first time in forever.
Amazing. So everyone watch out, because Adam's he's going to record your recovery for the first time forever and post it on his...
I don't think so.
I challenge you.
We'll make Elle Woods first.
We'll make that a challenge that you just everyone I've interviewed, I'm going to challenge them to sing a song from the character that they picked, because I feel like that'd be quite fun.
Yes, yeah.
If I get more people doing it, would you do it?
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
I'll do it too.
Who would you be? Which princess?
Elsa, always.
Elsa. So
yeah.
Would you be Let It Go?
No, Into the Unknown.
Oh yeah, okay.
I like Let It Go, but Into the Unknown, I feel like maybe after a while I'll be equal to them both, but at the moment Into the Unknown is...
Oh, I lost you for a minute there.
Oh, for a while, like Let It Go and Into the Unknown, like Into the Unknown was beating it, but after a while it's going to be like equal again, I think. It's just because it's just come out recently that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Have you got Disney Plus? If
I
you've got to listen.
do. I do.
How was that when that came out? Were you excited?
So I didn't get it initially. I was like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. But my mum made a very good point in saying that I'm not paying for rent. So she was like, you're saving on not paying rent. If you just pay for it, then you'll have it. And I'm a massive fan of Star Wars, so I've watched a lot of them. I've got lists on my walls of all the stuff that I need to watch. And last night I was watching Fantasia actually for the first time. Never watched it.
Me
And
neither. Is it good?
yeah, so it uses all like classical music and how music, and it explains how music can, what was it? Can be for the purpose of story, like written for a story. Music then can create a story, and then music can be just for music's sake. I think that's what they said. And then they do all this like to Tchaikovsky's like and the Nutcracker, and then they create animation on that. I mean, it's so old. Well, not so old, but I'd never seen it, and I was like listening to it. There's dinosaurs. That's got the Sorcerer's Apprentice on. Yeah, and I was like, this is really clever. It's just taken a piece of music that was done before, and then this is how it's created the animation.
So, have you seen the Disney sing-along? I think it is that they've put on there. The Disney
No.
sing-along. I think that's something they've just put on. So,
Right.
I feel like that'd be quite fun for someone.
What is it?
I think it's just. I think if you just go on Disney Plus, I think it's basically just a thing where they're just doing like a sing-along that you sing along at home. It's just a bit of fun for like Disney family sing-along. So I'm definitely going to do that with my girlfriend because singing's the best.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I know the songs, I'll sing along. I do anyway, to be fair.
Maybe that's something we should do. We should get Disney Plus, steal the sing-along, and do a big West End Disney sing-along. Anyways, I have the final question for you.
Okay, final question.
And this is not a hard question. It's a very easy question, and it's just, what's your advice for everyone stuck at home right now?
Ooh, I don't think there's any perfect advice. So whatever you are doing is absolutely fine. For me, I like to keep myself busy. I get very agitated not doing anything. I'm usually doing a lot of things. So I am doing cross stitch, reading a book. I picked up my trumpet. Been working out. Been doing some teaching, some work. I think do what makes you happy and what you need to do. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing to do. Like whatever makes you happy, you do you. Don't worry about what you see other people doing or what I'm doing or what your neighbour's doing. But stay safe and stay indoors.
Amazing.
Apart from your 1 hour.
You heard it from the superstar. If people want to follow you on social media, how do they do that?
On Instagram, I am Adam Crossley. And on Twitter, I am Adam_Crossley.
Just to make it hard for everyone, you have to do two different ones.
And yeah, so there's already an Adam Crossley out there. He's an American singer-songwriter. He's very good, but he already has it, apparently.
Oh,
and then I think there's an IT technician out there as well called Adam Crossley. I got tagged in it by mistake one time, and I was like, this isn't me.
I got to find out who else there is called Tom Brannan out there.
I mean, there's a couple of Crossleys that I know out in the industry. Yeah. I'm like, yes, Crossley.
These interviews that I'm doing, I've all posted them on YouTube as, if you type in Tom Brannan interviews, there's loads of them, but the top is still some random Tom Brannan, an interview with a random Tom Brannan. I'm just like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
It's got like 20 videos and I'm still second in the list.
You'll have plenty more, I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyways, the last thing I need to say to everyone is this video is, I'm trying to make money for acting for others. So I have put a link to donate in the description down there. If you always want to do that, I do it every time, down there in the description. And just donate as much as you can. I know that it's a hard time for everyone, but every penny helps. I'll be Tesco. Is it Tesco? Every little helps.
Think so.
See me, Tesco, please, if you're watching this. If you want to come on the show, Tesco, I can interview.
Or they could donate.
Yeah, Tesco, donate. You're the one that says every little helps. Just help some of the actors.
I think a lot of actors are working in Tesco's at the minute as well. So
Yeah, they're helping you. You help them. But anyways, yes, please donate. Thank you, Adam, for coming on the show. It's been so much fun.
thank you for having me. I mean, we got there eventually. We got there
Yeah,
eventually.
just anyone who is watching this doesn't know that it actually took us like over a week to. We kept like life kept coming in the way, but finally I got you on the show, and it's
I
been
did.
amazing.
Oh, thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed myself.
And I will just finish off by saying that make sure that everyone remembers my advice.